Welcome back to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing a definitely not new film. It says it came out in 2020. I think that was maybe like in, I don't know, it's like Denmark or Sweden. I don't remember exactly what country that this film was filmed in. So,
yeah, it was given a limited release in America last year, 2021.
Yeah, but is it from Denmark or Sweden? I always get those countries confused, so I don't remember.
Dude, I don't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Any event, the film that we're referring to
we're coming across as very American right now.
Yeah, I know. We're like, I don't know, man. All those European countries are the same.
One of those.
Yeah, one of those European countries. You know what I mean? I know it's either Denmark or Sweden. I just can't remember which one it is. So,
yeah.
But the film I'm referring to is called Riders of Justice. And it stars Mads Mikkelsen, who is an actor that I definitely like him. You know, he's good in like Hannibal, and he's been in some other films as well that I've really enjoyed. So this is a foreign film because it is in either Denmark or Sweden. I don't know which country it is. I'm sorry. I'm sure I'll get corrected from somebody like, you don't know, that's definitely was made in, you know, whatever, you know. Yeah, I can't remember, but it's a foreign film. But it's one that basically Riders of Justice. Basically, he is a like a special ops soldier, if you will. That's like really like just I guess like dedicated to his job. He's got like a wife and daughter that he apparently either never really ever sees because he's always off like fighting wars or doing missions and that sort of stuff. And basically, a series of events happen. Basically, he's supposed to come home. But then he calls his wife to let her know, or she was supposed to either like pick him up or something was supposed to happen. She calls his wife, or she calls him, and he lets her know that, you know, he's going to do another tour because the troops need him there. And so basically the wife and daughter take a train ride home where there's a gentleman that's actually sitting in a seat. The train ride is pretty much filled. A gentleman sitting in the seat, and he offers to get up to let the mom have the seat. And, you know, she ends up, you know, reluctantly takes the seat on the train. And as the train is moving, basically there's a big explosion that happens on the train, which inadvertently kills the woman, the mother, his wife, you know, because she was sitting in this guy's seat. But of course, the man that got up survives, and then the daughter also survives. Also on that train, though, and this is where it gets interesting, there's actually a member of a gang that's called Riders of Justice that's actually on that train that was scheduled to go testify, you know, in like this murder case or whatever case may be. And he also ends up dying as well. So the guy that actually got up to give the woman the seat, he starts thinking that maybe, you know, the accident wasn't an accident, and maybe that the other members of the gang, Riders of Justice, actually, you know, planted a bomb basically to kill this guy, but also ended up killing the mother and probably a host of other people as well that were on that row of the train. And so obviously when Mag's character comes back after finding out that his wife has died, you know, the guy that was that gave up a seat, him and a couple of his friends as well that, you know, all have different types of skills in terms of investigating things of that nature, come to him, Mags, and basically presents him with evidence that they believe that the Riders of Justice were responsible for his wife's death, which of course causes him to go into action and takes along these guys as well that are not fighters, to, you know, go and find the Riders of Justice in order to basically do them some bodily harm. And that's pretty much the story of the film without getting into the nitty gritty of it. I think that's the best synopsis of it that I can think of. So I went into this film. I heard it was an action film, and it definitely is an action film. But what surprised me about the film, it is, and even though it's foreign, it's actually really, really funny as well. It's got a lot of humor. So it's basically an action comedy, if you will. But it's got some really brutal action, though. You know what I mean? So it's not like your typical, you know, PG-13 rush hour action comedy. It's like a rated R action comedy. You know what I mean? It's like solely rated R. There's a lot of like funny parts, especially with the guy that gets up and gives the woman the the seat, like his buddies. They're like a really, really like crazy group of guys because they're not like fighters and stuff. So they're really like silly, and they're really like, one's like a computer nerd and, gets really specific about computer software and having the right computers and things of this nature in order to do what he needs to do. And so there's a lot of humor in the film as well, but it also has some really, really like brutal and grotesque like action scenes also. So it's an interesting film because, like, I hate to say that it's an action comedy because, like, I know myself, if someone tells me something's an action comedy, I immediately think like a Rush Hour or something of that nature. But this is not it. You know what I mean? It's closer to like a more violent version of, like, I don't know, like a Lethal Weapon, which also had a lot of comedy in it also, or at least the latter ones anyways. I don't know so much about the first one, but some of the latter ones had it, or because it's got a lot of like really hardcore death scenes in it as well, because he's pretty badass in this for sure. So so definitely, if you're an action junkie like me, you're definitely going to get a taste of the action for sure. But it also has a lot of humor as well. I'm just going to go on the record and say I freaking love this movie. I thought it was awesome, dude. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I didn't know much going into it. I just knew that it got really, really good reviews, which kind of piqued my interest. I just saw that it was getting like really good reviews. I knew it was foreign, so I was kind of like not in a huge rush to watch it. Plus, it was hard to find it anywhere because it was like not playing in theaters anywhere. It was hard to find out now, anyways. It was hard to find out where it was streaming, and for a long time, it was like $20 or something to stream. So once the price finally went down on it, I was able to stream it. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I had a really, really good time watching it. It definitely one that I'll definitely be watching again for sure, and we'll probably eventually buy. So so there's that. So no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. What was your take, Jason?
Oh yeah, I liked it a lot too. And I'm sure we're pronouncing his name wrong, but Matt Mikkelsen, like, I've always really liked him because he's one of those actors that can play like a hero or a villain, like equally well. You know what I mean?
Because he's in another foreign film. I keep saying, I mean, that's, he is a foreign actor, really, but he speaks English as well. So he can do, he does a lot of, The Hunt. That was the other one that he was really good in. I like that one also. He's really good in there. Yeah, that's a really good one. And then I don't know if you've ever seen Another Round. That's a comedy. That one's
not yet.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. That's another good one. So yeah. But he's a very versatile actor for sure. But he's also, he's got kind of like that creepy look to him a little bit. So he's really good at playing like either a bad guy or like a badass, like he is in this one, because he just kind of looks like this guy that you don't really want to mess with. You don't want to mess with. I mean? Yeah. So he's always like kind of just creepy looking. That's why he played such a good Hannibal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I only watched the first season of that. I meant to watch more. I just fell out of it for some reason. But
oh man, you got to watch at least the second season of Hannibal. The second season of Hannibal is one of my like top tier seasons ever. It's up there with season 2 Fargo. That's season 2 of Hannibal. Yeah, check it out. Season 3 is a little more bumpy, but season 2 is amazing.
How many seasons were there?
Just 3.
Okay.
That was it. Yeah, just 3.
Okay.
Because I think season 3 was a little too weird for people, I think. Well, it never got huge ratings, which is why I'm glad it lasted for 3 seasons at all. But
yeah.
Anyway, I digress. We're doing a lot of digressing today with our I really enjoyed it, and I did. I also wasn't in a rush to see it, even though the reviews were really good, because I love action movies, but like I saw the poster, and to me it looks like I like him, but like, is this just like his version of John Wick or something like that? But it's not. It's not. No. It does have some great action in it, but it's also like very much its own thing.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I love the teamwork between him and like the 3 like nerdy guys who are like, but I even though they're kind of nerdy, dorky characters, like it really does bring up a lot of like really interesting points about chance and like fate, chance.
Because the way you look at it is if that guy hadn't given up his seat for this guy's wife, you know what I mean, then he would have won. He would have been the one that died. And I think that's what actually caused him to like look more into it and think more about it, and that sort of stuff. But if that had happened, there wouldn't have been a story at all because you know, he wouldn't have had a reason to go look for what happened with the train explosion because his wife would have survived it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so that changed the whole dynamic. That's what made the film. The fact that he gave up his seat for her is what made the film, because it ended up unfortunately causing his wife to die because this stranger gave up a seat for another woman, for a woman, that looked like she was tired or just being polite, so being a gentleman, I guess, if you will.
Yeah,
so.
and you can even go back further than that because if you remember, like, I'm not going to spoil it because it's kind of the framework of the movie, even though it doesn't really have anything to do with the plot, but it even goes back further than that with something that happens that never even crosses paths with the main characters of the movie. And it makes you think, right. what have I done before that, maybe
somebody would have looked at.
Yeah, maybe sometime when I kicked a rock into the sidewalk that somebody later on ran over and broke their neck with a bike or something. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, there's a lot of chances. And like I said, I didn't want to go into. I know what you're talking about. I didn't want to go specifically into that because I know that that is kind of the framework of the movie, and I don't want to. I don't want anybody to because if you haven't seen it, because there are. I don't want to say a twist. There are some turns that happen throughout the movie, and so I don't want to spoil that for anybody. Right. But for sure. So
But I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good action, good comedy, good characters. There is a pretty major twist, that I had to kind of. It's one of those twists that I really had to kind of like I don't know, reassess things a lot. You know what I mean? And I wasn't sure if I liked the twist or not, but I do like the twist. It just
I kind of like the twist because because the end result was basically the same. What was going to happen was going to happen at that point. You know what I mean? I thought it was interesting because, like I said, it goes back to the whole fate thing, so but no, I kind of like the twist. It did throw me off at first. When I first saw kind of the twist, I was like, well, why did they do that? You know what I mean? Or why did that happen? But I kind of liked it, because, at the end, it's still, the events that led up to the conclusion were going to happen, whether they found out about whatever they found out, let's put it this way, the events were still going to happen. So, so I liked it. It didn't bother me. Once the film had finished, it didn't bother me. But I was with you too. When I first saw the twist, I was like, "Well, why did they even need to do that?" But then, it still ended the way that I wanted it, that I was hoping it was going to end for sure. So,
but thumbs up. I dug it.
Cool. Anything else you want to add about Riders of Justice?
Nope.
All right. Overall grade and face you would give this one.
I gave it a 4 out of 5. So, it's one of those, I give a lot of 4 out of 5s. There's just something about some movies that takes it to 4.5, and this didn't go to 4.5, but I can't think of anything about it that I didn't like. So because I know you're probably going to give it a 4.5 out of 5, aren't you?
Are you done talking, or?
I think so.
All right. I actually gave this one a 2.5 out of. No.
Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah. So this one actually got my coveted highest grade ever, which is 4.5 out of 5 for me. I love this. So this is automatically, instantly in my top 10 and instantly in my top 5 because I probably only gave of all time. Yeah.
Because I probably only gave 2 other films, 4.5 out of 5 for the whole year. I think I care a lot. Zack Snyder's Justice League and probably this. I think if I off the top of my head, there may have been one more that I'm forgetting about, but I think those are the only ones that I actually gave 4.5 out of 5 that I like that much. So this is instantly probably in my top 3 or top or 4 if I'm forgetting about a film. I don't know. I have to look at my list and I haven't compiled it yet. But but no, I enjoyed it. So like I said, I gave it 4.5 out of 5. So that's just a big. I thought it was great, man. So I'm a big action guy. Just as you're a big horror guy. So if an action film is done right for me and it does something different like this one does, because let's be honest. You've seen enough horror films that if it does the same thing, you might like it. But if a horror film does something that you didn't expect, or it's completely different than most horror films that you watch, you're probably going to like it more just because it did something different. And I felt like this was a different kind of action film, because there's very rare films. Well, there's very rare foreign films that I find to be, great action films. For one, you know what I mean? I mean, outside of like A City of God, there's not a whole lot of foreign films that I own that are like I watch, or District B, what is that? District B13. I like those two. Yeah, The Raid. I mean, there's a few. Yeah, there's a few, but I mean, there's not. This one's different because it's also comedy, and those ones were a little more serious. I don't know if District B13 was meant to be a comedy or not, but it's just silly and wacky. And this one is a little more serious, but it also it has a lot of humor to it as well. So I kind of like that, because that's something that I don't see a lot, in foreign films, and I don't see too many films that are that much like heavy, serious, bloodletting type action, but also is funny too. You know what I mean? Like, so like The Raid is, it's lots of bloodletting, borderline horror film of action. As you put. Whereas this one it's not quite as like grim or brutal as The Raid, because there's not that much action in that capacity. I mean, The Raid's like a straight action film, but this one has a lot of comedy. But when the action sequences do happen, it's pretty brutal. So I do like that about it as well. So
yep,
cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about Riders of Justice?
No, I dug it.
Cool. Well, yeah, I love the heck out of it. I'm probably gonna order this one on Blu-ray. So I'll definitely be owning this. This will be in the collection relatively soon. I definitely love this one. So yeah, like I said, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen Riders of Justice? If you haven't seen it, I definitely highly recommend you check it out. It's just a fun film. It's really fun.
Stop being a crybaby if you don't want to read subtitles. Yes. If you can read, you can enjoy this movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go on a tangent, but I get it when people tend to gravitate to films that are, because some people will watch them dubbed. You know what I mean? Some people would rather watch it with, like dubbed, even though the mouths are off, versus like reading like for, an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever. But, I don't have a problem with it. Like I said, City of God is one of my favorite films of all time, which is foreign, but, it doesn't bother me. But I can't say that I, love every foreign film either. You know what I mean? Well, but definitely I don't have a problem with them. If they're done well, they're done well. So for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know.
Then watch the movie.
If you can read, watch it,
Yeah.
And then let us know down in the comments.
It might take like 5 minutes to get used to it, and then you'll forget.
Yeah, that's like anything. Anything that's jarring or different, it's going to take a couple of minutes to settle in. But once you figure out it, get it, you can settle in and watch it for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we thank you for watching. As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification, and we'll be back again soon with another show for you guys. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.